This is Wilson Miles from Black Women TV. Hello, Chandler. How's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Wilson?
Good. Obviously, we're now back, season two, summer school, as opposed to original sin. So for those who have to play catch up, what are we getting this particular season with Tabby?
Yeah, well, we pick up right where we left off, literally Christmas morning, and A has escaped and is making the rounds. And and with Tabby, I think she's just had this confrontation with her assaulter, and that event is traumatic in and of itself, even outside of the trauma that she's endured. And so I think we find her in a place where she is a bit raw, but she also, I think, is stronger than ever in having survived through the first season and all the events that it threw her way. And so she's in therapy along with her friends and um, ready to work on herself and move through a lot of these traumas that are still, really prominent in her life.
I feel like she's diving herself into her work, and that it comes with the horror, and she's all into it. How much of a horror fan are you in real life?
Not as big as her because I think she outdoes almost anybody. But I am quite the horror fan and I am getting more and more into it the more I play her. I only started watching horror like just a couple weeks, maybe a month before I actually booked the role. So I do think I might have maybe manifested
Really?
it.
Didn't
Yeah,
see none of the old schools, none of the old films, Friday the 13th,
oh, well, no,
Jason.
now I've worked my way back, but I was kind of new going into it. So I was a bit of a blank slate, but I couldn't think of two better people to introduce me to the world than Roberto and Lindsay, who are the horror king and queen. And they are just wonderful and litter our show with so many beautiful references and pay homage to classic slasher horror. And it's been really cool to learn and also be a part of bringing it to life.
Is there any particular slasher films that is a favorite that, like, as I'm watching this, they're name dropping some of these movies that I've seen in the past, and I'm like, okay, do you have your own personal slasher film that you like? Okay. And what I find funny is that, not funny, but interesting, is that she gets her girls. I don't know, a bunch of group girls that will go out there and see slasher films and talk about it like it's a romance movie.
Yeah, I know. She just like eats them up and she's kind of like desensitized a bit, which I think is an interesting thing and, can come into play in cool different ways when she's dealing with these things head on in real life. But for me, I mean, I think, okay, well,
Gotta have an answer ready to go. You don't care what fans
classic
see.
slasher. Because I just this honestly, like I know what you did last summer, just popped into my brain. Just because it's like I think there's bits of there's so many references that the show makes. But I mean, I also love like I don't know Friday the 13th is classic. Halloween. I mean, I'm not like super out there. I just love love the classics and love the iconic films. I have to get deeper into the niche horror, subcategories and things. Tabby will teach me.
At what point did you feel comfortable being Tabby? Sometimes it takes a while for an actor to get, because you never know. With the first season, it's all about introducing these characters, and we as the audience, we want to make sure that we're invested. So like once we knew there was a season two coming back, they were like, okay, now let me go back because we can be invested into these characters, and it gives a chance for the writers to say, okay, this is where we're going to take them. At what point for you was it immediately when you got the role, during the first season, or when you got the call to like, oh, we're coming back?
Yeah, I mean that's such a great question, and I don't have a clear answer to it because honestly, I don't know if there's ever been a time in which I felt, oh, so certain this is Tabby, this is exactly who she is. Of course, there are moments where like you see her heart really shine through, but what so much of what she's dealing with is not normal. It's so far from anything that like I think humans are made to experience on a day-to-day basis. And so I think in a lot of ways, even from the day that we met her, which was interesting, kind of stepping into this space, she was not herself. And I don't think that she's, felt herself for a while. And I think what's beautiful about season 2 and kind of what you were touching on, we have the opportunity to like dive deeper with these characters. And we've seen them in season 1, and now we're emotionally invested. We get to grow with them. We get to see them in new situations. And, but there's definitely a core to her. And I know where that sits in me and in my brain. And I just work from there. But I do think this season provides a lot of firsts for her. And so I don't even know if she knows how she's going to, move through those spaces. So that's kind of a fun challenge to play as an actor too.
And as you play the role, and obviously, you're working with the other actresses, how much have you learned skill set wise as an actress as you continue to do this show?
So much more than I have ever learned on any other project that I've done. These girls are insane talents, and I am constantly pinching myself that I get to stand alongside them. And I just get to, if someone's doing their coverage and I'm like off camera, I'm still in it with them, but I really am just like enamored with their work. And it's been the most beautiful growing experience, both as an actor, but also as a person, because we're all, in our 20s, figuring it out, doing the thing. And so it's cool to have that love and support, with them right alongside me.
When you're not in front of the camera, what do you do to stay humble?
To stay humble, touch grass, get outside, get some sun. I've realized that nature actually is a really, really, really useful tool in grounding yourself. And I try to write more. I think that helps center me and clear my brain. So I'm not holding everything up here. I can get it onto a page. And try to read. Hard, it's hard with the phones these days. The phones these days.
Now, for anybody who hasn't watched the show, and obviously, I always say there's a lot of product out there nowadays. There's what you have in cinemas, and we've got a crazy amount of streamers right now. So for those, do you need to go back into watch the original, the first season, or can you watch the season as it is to catch up?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, you know what? I'll tell you this. I am here. I'm actually in New Zealand. I'm filming a project with my lovely castmates for Zombies 4. And but they were so sweet to me last night because I was not able to be in LA with my cast for the premiere. And so they threw me like a little premiere party last night. It was so sweet. And some of them hadn't seen the first season. And I was a little nervous going into the second season because they had no idea. They were just plopped in the middle, Christmas morning, who's A? Now A's killing these people. They're like, what's going on? And really, they were able to jump right in. So I would say, because I always watch everything, and I think you get the best experience by watching it, from season 1, episode 1, watch it through, because you really get to, get a sense of these girls and grow with them. But I will also say too, my friends did not skip a beat, and they were just as emotionally invested as everyone else who had grown with these characters. So jump in is all I'm saying. Jump in.
You say you're working right now. What makes you say yes to the projects you take?
Anything that has something to say. I really think that I'm just in a time in my life where I'm really fortunate where I can be a little bit more intentional with the work that I do. And I think anytime I really get to give voice to someone and make someone feel seen through that. I think this project has been, Pretty Little Liars has been like a big example of that for me, because I've had so many people come up to me and say, oh, I've had a similar experience, or this is the first time I felt like I saw myself on screen in a specific way. And that is like everything to me, and it's why I do it. And I have those moments for myself. And so to be able to provide that for someone else is really like feels very purposeful.
Okay, so that's good that you know, outside of the series, you've got time to shoot a film and in other projects. Is there anything else you're looking to do that's different that people won't recognize you in?
Ooh, that won't it won't recognize me. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I always kind of have things on the docket, but I'm also trying to write more and dance more and really, I guess, just flex that creative muscle in ways that I haven't gotten a chance to in a while. And so whatever that may bring, I don't know. We'll see.
Right. So then I want to say congrats, obviously, on Pretty Little Liars, Summer School. Let's hope there's a third season for not only for everybody, but for yourself, the character. We don't know where it's going to go. You know, sometimes you watch these shows like, okay, who's going to go out? Am I on the last page? Am I in the last
Right.
episode? You know, as we always say with people of color, like, let me look at the script. You know, how
That's
we doing?
right.
And if you're going to go out, you got to go as a memorable death. People remember if you got to go out, you know? But it's not.
Yeah.
Going, keep it going. So congrats, do your thing. We're here to support. Take care.
Aw, Wilson, that was amazing. Love you. That was great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate
Have a good one.
it. You too. Bye.